All right, I believe we are officially live, and I want to welcome everybody to Rogues Gallery Live. This is episode number 46. We have a very, very special guest today, and I'm going to introduce him in just a moment. We're also going to be talking about the incredible reveals over the last week and a half from not only the Prime One Next Level event, but specifically the Wonderfest event over in Shanghai. Absolutely incredible reveals from especially Infinity Studios and Queen Studios specifically. And just absolutely incredible items coming out of that event. And so that's basically going to be our show tonight. But like I said, we have a very, very special guest. And you might know him from a lot of different amazing DC and Marvel covers. This is artist Ryan Brown. Welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you.
Welcome. I'm really excited that you're here. Thank you so much for being on the show tonight. And I know we have a lot of questions heading your way. So anyway, I also want to introduce everybody else in the group here tonight. We also have with us Mr. Rick Fong is with us.
Hey guys, how's everyone doing today?
Doing well. Thank you very much. Glad that you're here. We also have Mr. Jeff Morris with us tonight.
Hello, everyone.
Hope you're doing well, Jeff.
Doing good.
We also have from Secret Sanctuary, Mr. Jeff Delaney.
Glad to be back. Hope everybody's doing well.
So far, so good, as far as I know. Yeah. Yep. And making his show debut, we've been literally, I think you stated it earlier, Eric, that I've been harassing you to try to get you on the show for a very long time. But Mr. Eric Buno is here in the house.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for having me on.
Really glad that you're here. And thank you, everybody that's already here in the chat. If you have any questions for Ryan, please post them in the chat, and we'll ask them as we go. We have Ryan for about a half hour tonight, so it'll be a little tight, but we're going to make it work really nice here tonight. So again, if you have questions, please make sure that you are asking in the chat. So I guess I will start. And my first question is kind of how did you get started in the art world in general? Like kind of tell us a little bit about your art background.
I was always into art when I was a kid. I was drawing and stuff, all crazy stuff, but I went to art college when I was kind of, I don't know, about 20. Learned absolutely nothing, and it was one of those art colleges that didn't teach you anything. It was basically, people just went and the sort of drank and things, and the tutors just had no idea at all what they were doing, which is kind of weird. I find it very strange. Art colleges are really hit and miss. Sometimes you'll get a good art college where they'll actually teach you all about art, and other ones will teach you nothing. It really depends. But so I kind of left that. I worked in a shop for my parents owned a martial arts shop, and I worked there for a lot of years.
Nice.
And
that's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. So it basically, at a point that we had to close the shop, and the internet had sort of destroyed sales and things. So I kind of, at that point, I was looking for a job, and it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it is the truth. I'm not sugarcoating anything, but I literally had no job, and I know Simon Bisley. You probably know Simon Bisley. Yeah, I'm good friends with Simon Bisley. So basically, he contacted me at some point and said, "Do you want to do a lot of coloring for a project I'm doing for? It's called the Tar Chronicles for Legendary Entertainment," and so that was my first sort of move into comics, actually coloring comics and stuff. We did probably about 2,500 pages between us. At the beginning, it was taking me maybe a day to color one page, and at the end of the run, we were doing a whole 22-page story in 2 days. Wow. So Simon was drawing 22 pages in 2 days, and I was coloring the 22 pages 2 days. So after that, I was working with a couple of different people: Simon Bisley, Glenn Fabry, Greg Staples, Liam Sharp, coloring their covers and stuff, But it was more like digital painting, rather than just sort of flat colors. So I did that, and with IDW, they then said, "You do want to do your own covers?" They started me off with a thing called V Wars, and that was actually my very, very first covers. That was probably about 5.5 years ago, and I think I did maybe about 13 covers of a run. And after that, I did like Mars Attacks, Gears of War, I don't know, Ninja Turtles, loads of stuff. I then moved on and worked with what was it? Dark Horse, and did some Creepy covers for them for Creepy Comics. What else? I've been doing like covers for. I did heavy metal cover for heavy metal.
Cool.
2080. I did a lot of 2080 covers as well. I've did so many things that I can't remember half the stuff. It's I'd probably about a year and a half. Marvel contacted me and said, do you want to do some covers? And I said, yeah.
So, like, what is that? What is that like, having Marvel call you and say? I mean, I can't even imagine what that must feel like.
Yeah, it's well, the thing about it is there's so many characters, and it's such a big company. It's like it's something I've always wanted to draw. I mean, there's so many characters there. Spider-Man, everything, Doctor Doom. There's so many things I want to draw. It's like I have to tick all these characters off my list, and because I'm doing a lot of variant covers, I can basically go and say, right, can I do like a Spider-Man cover? I'll do that, tick that off the list, and then can I do this? Can I do Wolverine cover? And then they give me a Wolverine cover, and then I tick that off the list. So I'm just sort of going through characters after character after character. And there's thousands of them, so and I want to kind of go into the weird realms as well, the kind of the Z list characters as well, and do some of those, But then at a certain point, like DC, then I was doing a lot of covers for like Comics Elite, it's like a comic shop company, or internet sort of sales and stuff,
Yep.
and. They wanted me to do a lot of variant covers for DC, so I did like Joker, Harlequin, I can't remember, Batman, loads of stuff, loads of covers for that. And I'm sort of doing the same thing. I'm trying to tick through like the list of characters there, But I kind of it's one of those things that I haven't really did any interior art. It's mostly covers because I kind of like the idea where you have a character, you work on that, do that one cover, and then you move on to something completely different. Mm-hmm. It's the interior sort of stuff never appealed to me because it's like, you're drawing like this panel, then that panel, then thing, and this character from this angle, this character from that angle, and it would, in my brain, I would get really bored, and I just kind of want to draw Spider-Man, then Wonder Woman, then blah, 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 then blah, 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 and move. It keeps everything fresh, really, So, I don't know. It's probably a long-winded answer.
Well, I appreciate that. That's very, very awesome to hear. And we're going to be looking at some of your covers here in just a moment. But you mentioned, like, you get the phone call from Marvel or DC, and they say, okay, we want you to do this character. Do they give you, like, pretty much exact direction kind of on like what they want out of the cover, what they like, what type of story they're trying to tell?
Yeah, sometimes it really depends on the editor. Some editors, it also depends on how long you've been working with the editor, because if you've got a long sort of relationship with an editor, they'll let you go to town on it a lot of the time because they kind of know that you're not going to go crazy, or they know your parameters, how you work. Some editors are very hands-on, it really depends. But to be honest, a lot of the time I've been kind of lucky, the editors have sort of let me kind of do what I want. A lot of the time, the process usually is they'll give you a bit of information on what they sort of want for a cover. You'll do a couple of sketches, and then they'll pick whatever sketch you want to do, or what they think. Now, what I usually do is I usually do like 2 really interesting designs, and then on the third design, I kind of, the third rough, I kind of lose interest or something, because I've put all the energy into those 2. So the third one's usually some generic piece of shit, really. You're allowed to say shit. So you can bleep shit out there. You're gonna have to bleep shit. Oh, free. So what happens is every single time they'll pick the third one. Right, they'll always pick the third one. So now what I've started doing is I just send one rough, and I don't send 3 anymore. And if they say, "Oh, could you send me some more roughs?" then I'll just begrudgingly send them more. But generally it's send them 1 rough, and they'll say, "Oh, great," and then you get going, and you don't need you don't have resentment then, because I've had a couple of covers where I've did like roughs and I've thought, oh, this is going to look really good, and then they pick this generic one where they're like standing like this. And then I'm like racing. I just want to smash things and rip my stuff off the walls.
It sounds like maybe they go with the safe route sometimes. Maybe, yeah.
They do. Yeah, it's a bit annoying because like when you're drawing things, you want to kind of keep changing things about, and you don't want to draw the same pose over and over again where they're standing like this, with their arms up sort of thing. And unfortunately, they always pick this where so you'll see about 10 covers that I've done. They're all standing like this. They go like, oh, well, can we have that one? And I'm like, oh, God, ripping whatever hair I've got left in. Desperate, but
that's awesome. Well, looking over your work, I feel like there is somewhat of a horror element to some of your work. A lot of the monsters and the macabre. Tell us a little bit about like what inspires you. Is that kind of part of your background? Is that kind of what you draw from in some of your illustrations?
Yeah. See, the thing is, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with horror. I think it was like there was something really weird happened whenever I was a young kid. It was Halloween, and like I was 10 or something. And I went to the door, and there was a guy standing at the door. I opened the door, and this guy was wearing a mask, and I didn't know, but it was the next door neighbor. And he pushed the door and ran after me, and I ran behind the sofa, and hid. And he literally pulled the sofa out and came after me. And I was utterly terrified, right? My parents were there at the same time. They were laughing, And I was terrified. And I think it totally traumatized me for life, And I kind of, from that point on, I've absolutely loved horror, because it's such a powerful emotion, and I've always like strived to kind of to produce a piece of artwork that has a very uncomfortable sort of feel to it, something really creepy. And when it's stuff like the Joker or whatever, or I'll point that way. Mm-hmm. Whenever it's stuff like the Joker, I kind of think to myself, well, I want to draw him where he's terrifying, he's like, there's something really not right with his head. And there's something behind his eyes, that it's like a blankness, in the eyes, and so that's I'm always. And one time I was at a convention and I had a lot of prints sitting about, and a wee boy came across and he was looking at the prints. And I could see his expression changed, and he went off. He started crying, and went off. And I was like, I turned around to the person that was working at the booth with me, and I was like, yes, yeah. I've scared a small boy. So it was like that was a real big achievement for me, It made everything worthwhile, as if I had actually achieved something. So
one more thing crossed off the bucket list. That's
exactly.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
I creep horror into everything. Even like you've probably seen I'll move over here, the Spider-Man cover here.
Yes.
Yep.
That's one of my favorite covers of yours. I love that.
Oh, right. Okay. Thank you. But I try and kind of add creepiness into everything. It's like because I think it adds a bit of reality to it, doesn't it? And it's like whenever you're drawing Batman or anybody else, you want to kind of have gritty griminess, where some of the suits kind of cut and ripped, and that believability. There's stubble, and you have to add a bit of reality to that world so that you can relate to it. Now, obviously, everybody has a different kind of take to art. So whenever you see like Alex Ross and stuff, it's the idealized sort of image. My idea is gritty and grimy and
In the
dirty and in the mud sort of thing. And if people are fighting, they've got cuts and scrapes. And I drew Conan at one point, and I kind of did him with a big scar on his lip, and real as if all these wounds have healed up, and he's a patchwork of like leather scars everywhere, and that's kind of what it would be. That's
I think so many of us. Sorry, I was just going to say. So I think so many of us are drawn to that style. I'm a big fan of yours. I'm a big fan of like Liber Mejo, that that gritty realism, and you really bring that out of your paintings. And I just there's so amazing. And so I'm going to bring up some of your covers here, and you can talk while I'm doing that, and maybe just talk a little bit about like your process. Like, do you use paints? Do you use digital? Like, how does that work? And I'll bring up your images while we're doing that. Let's see here.
Well, the thing about it is, it depends on what I'm doing, but I've did a lot of work for films and stuff, concept art. I did. I've worked for like what have I worked for? I can't remember the companies, but big ones. and the thing about it is, whenever you're doing concept work, it's usually best to work digitally. If you work digitally, then it means you can change things really fast. And concept work, you need to change things fast. The stuff for a lot of the comic covers, you want to paint those because you can sell the originals. So sort of it adds more to your income. What I find, my sort of strategy is, don't do too much work where you're spreading yourself thin. You're kind of working constantly churning things out, and then people get sick of your work, I think, in a way. And also you're not giving each image your all. So if you can supplement your income by selling originals, then it sort of works better. Now, the way I paint digitally is very, very similar to the way I would paint with acrylic paint. It's like washes and stuff, and building it up, kind of layers and stuff. So it's all about grit and reflections, and light. And what you're trying to what you're trying to do a lot of the time is you're trying to make that image or that piece of paper look three-dimensional. So you're going to do it with light, and you're going to also do it with movement. And the other thing that I do there as well is like the movement isn't overly, there's not an awful lot. There's angles to the wall. The door's opening, but if you notice, the door isn't the same angle as the thing. A lot of these things you're playing, it's not reality, but it's believability. And the other thing is subtle expressions on faces where they haven't made the expression yet, or they're blank staring at you, because a lot of the time you want the reader to be doing a bit of the work, but trying to figure out, what does this mean? You don't want to spoon feed people everything. If you spoon feed people, it's a bit like porn, isn't it? It's like it has a couple of minutes or a couple of seconds, depending on of interest, and you move on. You want a piece of art that's going to stick in people's heads. They're also going to move their eye around that image, constantly looking at different parts. So it's all about keeping somebody's attention. And I don't think you keep attention by spoon feeding. You know, that's only my opinion, but you know, so that's why I have expressions sometimes like that where it's not, you know, it's not like screaming or kind of, you know, you have to figure out what is this person sort of what's going on there, you know.
Absolutely. And I think this is one of your, very known covers, at least in the DC community. And this is a perfect example of what you said about light. I mean, good Lord, there's so much going on with this. It's just a beautiful, beautiful painting.
Well,
is this one painted or digital?
Yeah, that's the original there, if you can see.
But it's painted?
Yeah, that's painted. Yeah.
Painted, yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And this, of course, is from Deceased, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That they're the two different versions. What I did was that one was digitally altered, because the other one was originally painted, you know, acrylic on board. So, so I put it into Photoshop and then changed the eyes and stuff for the variant.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Thank you for some behind the scenes on that. That's really neat.
Oh, no problem. No problem.
So Ryan, I got a quick question. With the cover I showed, the Dark Knight's Metal one with Batman in armor and then this Wonder Woman here.
Yeah.
When you were talking about motion, do you, for the most part, is your style more along the lines of like creating a moment where the person either reading or looking at it has to fill in the movement themselves in their head when they're okay? Yeah, that's the impression I get more from your artwork than anybody else's. Is that I look at it and it's almost like anticipating the movement or like imagining where that movement is going to go.
That's exactly what it is. Because if you go back to the Batman one, right, and even this one, here's the thing. The thing about it is there's action that's going on outside of the scene.
Yep.
Okay, so that you don't see it, but it's hinted at, you know. And the idea there is, do you know the way when you see like action footage from like war or something, or planes flying, and you can't get them in the shot completely. The action is moving so quick that you just can't get it in view. You know, so it's not all completely set in there. Where his arm, you can see everything. You know, the idea is you've turned around and you've seen a scene of something happen. You know, and it's not going to be perfectly positioned in that image.
Right.
It's supposed to feel like that. It's supposed to feel like a snapshot of a moment. Of you only see a part of what's happening, but the idea then is in your imagination, who are all these people with swords?
Right.
You know, who are they and what is it and what's going on, sort of thing. Right. You know, and hinted ideas of like you can see there's a rounded part of the back of a helmet on the ground, sort of thing. You know, and mud and, you know, mist and various things. You know, and this, I based a lot of that on proper medieval armor. High medieval armor is attached. You know, and the other thing about this is he has literally put. My idea was that he has put a lot of pieces of armor together over time because his armor has, you know, got damaged. So he's lifted, as they used to do in medieval times, pieces of armor off battlefields and replaced parts of his with other things, you know, other people's. And you can see underneath where there's like rope has been tied to because the gauntlet's too big for him. Or there's like pieces of cloth put in that to pad it out, you know, all different parts you'll see around when you look around the certain bits, you know, there's things telling you this armor has been put together in pieces. The other thing is he's got like a big dent, you know, and on his eye.
Yeah.
You know, you can see that where it's been hit by a hammer or something like that. And you can see yeah, and you can see the blood pouring down from underneath the helmet.
Yeah.
See on the face part. So he's been hit there, bang, and that came in and hit him in the face, and blood starting to drip down. The other thing is, it didn't make his expression as if he's kind of, you know, menacing. I made it almost like he's getting tired.
Yeah.
You know, he's almost like he's starting to kind of, I'm getting exhausted fighting you in this mud. And do you know what I mean?
Right.
Breathe into his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't want him to look like all kind of tough and as if he's beating everybody, and there's no drama, you know. Right. My idea was, have you ever seen the film Excalibur?
Oh man,
that's exactly what I thought when I saw this. It reminded me of Excalibur.
It reminded me of those fantasy ones, you know, like Willow and Excalibur, and what's the other one? Legend. Legend, you know, all those like 80s sci-fi fantasy movies. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was going for. That the grimy colors, everything's gritty and like falling apart, and you know, it's just, and the weariness of it, and the kind of, you know, the way in the 80s when you watched films like RoboCop and all that stuff, where it just felt like there was depressing parts in it where you're going, oh God, this is just too much. You know, it's, you know, you don't get that sort of stuff these days. I don't think a lot in films, you know. So my idea was a bit of darkness and a bit of depression and a bit of, you know, he has to fight his way out of this, not only physically but mentally, because he's getting exhausted, and this is just too much for him, sort of thing. And you know, if I was to do this image as like a statue or whatever, then you know, I would love to kind of I wonder who he would be fighting. You know, who owns those swords? You know,
he'd be fighting a dark wizard, which would be Scarecrow, and then the Joker would be like this really like plague-ridden court jester.
Or maybe it's something totally different.
Maybe. Well, this would make for one hell of a great statue, I tell you what. Now I'm going to keep cycling through these photos because I know we don't have you for very much longer.
No problem.
But you know, if anybody did watch the Prime One Studio Next Level event, you were part of that. It was incredibly well done, and you know, we got kind of a teaser that you were going to be working with Prime One. Can you tell us a little bit about how that relationship started? And I know you can't really be specific as to what you're doing with them specifically, but tell us a little bit about what that relationship's like and how that came about.
A load of months ago, they contacted me and said they wanted to translate one of my covers into a statue, and would it be interested? And I sort of had to sit for about 1 second and sort of consider it, you know, because when you're talking about like Prime One Studio, you're talking about, you know, a company that really, really cares about, you know, what they produce, and it's almost like, you know, they produce work that you shouldn't be able to produce. You know, it's just so gigantic and so dramatic, and you know, you just have to be a part of that. You know what I mean? It's
like a dream come true.
And the thing about it is, their sculptors are the best. Their sculptors are the best, and you know, translating my 2-dimensional sort of designs into 3 dimensions, it's, you know, it's in perfect hands, you know, and to be honest, I want to see this, you know, statue in my hands as well. You know, we haven't got to that stage yet, but you know, it's kind of, the project is coming along really well, and it's just, I'm so raging I can't say anything about it. You know, I have to do one of those politician things, you know, where you just talk around the subject and not actually say anything.
We were talking about it before the show. It's like Prime One is very known to be very secretive of, you know, and they keep everything very close to the vest. But I just think it'd be like the ultimate honor to, like, for you to be able to produce this amazing art that's so loved. And then it's like a tribute almost to how beloved your art is, to say, okay, now I have it in 3D form. I would think that'd have to be just absolutely mind-blowingly amazing.
You know what? The thing, I am utterly shocked that they wanted to do it. You know, I was like, I thought I can think of a million other artists that they're far better established and their artwork is fantastic, and you know they should really be doing it other than me. You know, but I'm not going to tell them that. You know, you know,
right.
But the. You know, so I am extremely pleased that they've actually, you know, came to me. And the other thing about it is they kind of want my they want my kind of vision of the statue. So it's not like they say, right, well, here's the cover, so sign it over to us and we'll just make the statue. They want me to do as much as I want to do on this statue. You know, if I want to do intricate detail, which my personality is, I am obsessive compulsive, you know, that everything has to be exactly the right way. So I've been designing, you know, say there's like joints and, you know, connections and things, say there was, well, I've been designing these things to extreme detail, you know, everything to the highest sort of detail. So literally you could look at it under a microscope, you know, and you know there's stuff going on there. So
how far are you in the process? Are you still in just the designing phase, or have they like started sculpting anything for you?
We are the thing about it is they are sculpting as I'm designing. So I would say probably 90% finished. You know,
wow.
the design about 90% finished. And the whole well, we were supposed to put it into that showcase, but
like the physical one.
I think the designs were going to show the designs,
teaser.
but just things sort of got ahead of us and stuff, you know, and you know, I'm working on that along with covers, along with other stuff for other companies that I can't talk about at the minute, but you know, it's projects on top of projects on top of projects. So it's trying to kind of, you know, put a bit of time into this, put a bit of time into that, and you know, keep everything moving along, really, you know. So
that's awesome.
But it's getting there, and I'm very happy with what's done so far. And as I was saying, I'm trying to kind of, if there's a dial and the dial is going up to 100 for the base, I'm trying to turn it up to like 1,000. You know, I want a base that's like this sort of, you know, gigantic thing, and like this character's that size and the base is like this. You know?
Well, you're working with the right company with Prime One.
Yeah,
because they love their big bases.
Yeah, you have to take a wall out in your house, you know, to get this thing brought into your house, sort of thing. You know.
Yep, that's exactly right. We're very used to that. We're all big Prime One fans here, so I could definitely envision that for sure. I know we only have you maybe for a few more minutes. I'm sorry for keeping you a little bit longer. But
no problem.
Any questions from this group here that for Ryan?
I have a question. Ryan, I understand you're from Belfast.
Oh, I am indeed, yes.
My grandfather was born in Belfast, and I was just wondering if being from that part of the world had any kind of influence on your work.
I think it has, yeah, because I grew up through the Troubles, you know, and bombs and things, and kind of people with guns, and you know, riots, petrol bombs, all types of madness, you know, and that went on until like the 90s, and it was always in our head, you know, in our mind, you know, whenever I would go to my friend's house, and I would have to walk through like, you know, checkpoints, police checkpoints, paramilitaries and stuff with machine guns walking around the streets, and it was totally crazy. So there is a little bit of like a darkness, you know, to people, you know, from that time period, you know, that kind of it's in the back of your head, really. And I think that's probably why I add a lot of grittiness to my kind of things, because I want to see the realness of it. I want to, you know, it just sort of feels a bit more realistic. You know, when you've watched films about like things like Belfast or anything like that, and whenever I watch it, I kind of think, well, that's very kind of tame in comparison to what it used to be, or it doesn't have the grittiness to it, the reality, and I always said it, like if I produce or created anything like artwork, I kind of want to have that believability there, so
right.
Yeah.
Very good.
That's awesome. We've got a question in the chat from Collector's Therapy. It says, any characters you haven't had a chance to design that is still on your bucket list?
To design?
Probably never draw. Maybe to draw.
I don't know. I think to draw. I want to do more. The thing about I want to do more Doctor Doom. I want to do a lot of the kind of the villains for like Spider-Man. Dr. Octopus and stuff, and there's so many things, to be honest.
Your Venom is awesome.
Thank you. Well, I've did a lot of covers recently that haven't been brought out yet. So because of this coronavirus thing, everything's been slowed down. I have a mountain of covers that nobody's seen yet, and some of them, some Venom ones and some other character things, and I did like, well, I can't even say. But so I mean, like, it's really good because like Marvel have new characters that they just got like licenses for, so it's good to draw some of those. but yeah, Dr. Octopus and Doctor Doom and any of the dark sort of stuff, I like drawing. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Eric
or Jeff, did you have any questions?
I have a quick question. So when you work on a statue with these companies, do you need to provide them with 3D renderings of your artwork from like different angles, or is that up to the sculptor to turn it into a 3D model of your artwork?
Well, when we were dealing with when I'm dealing with Prime One, they basically said to me, I could give them as loose or whatever, and they could, work it up. I can work with their sculptors, and they could literally, if I wanted to do like a drawing of the front with a base and a little bit of like detail of what the back looks like, then that would have worked. But yeah, the thing about it, the way I kind of work is I want to show them. I want to do side views, back views. I do full turnarounds and stuff. Nice. I literally have did from like looking straight down on the character and stuff. Because I wanna make sure that this, the pose is looking correct. The angle of all this stuff, from all angles, that I can get this to look really interesting. And you're also with a statue, you're trying to make something look like it's alive. The way when people say the contrapposto, where a person is leaning slightly rather than being completely upright, like a little action figure type thing. Mm-hmm. Whenever you naturally stand, you kind of lean a bit of weight onto one or the other leg, and that kind of adds life to a statue. So whenever you can create this kind of where it looks like a statue is leaning or about to move or is moving into something, then you've added life to it. But sometimes those poses only work from front to back, and when you look at the side, it looks dead. It looks like it's sort of almost upright. So I wanted to make sure from all angles it was kind of working. The other thing that I've done as well is I've created other arms with other weapons, so that so that this looks, because you have to think about how things move and your body moves with a particular weapon, because it's going to move a different way with a sword than it is to like a mace or a whatever or something. So you have to then change certain parts to make sure this is going to, gel together, or it's going to look like bizarrely out of place, like all his movements going one way and then his arms like up here or something. Yeah. And when you've seen a statue and you thought it just doesn't hit the mark at all, and when you see somebody who knows how to sculpt or design things and you can see there's life in it, it looks, it's the difference between old sculptors you know. And then when you see the Michelangelo stuff, whenever he started, you know, it was brand new of those days, and it showed life. You know, you could see cloth draped over things. You can see movement of things, you know. So like when you've got capes and whatevers, you want this to all kind of, it sells the image, it sells the kind of the picture or the moment you're trying to sell to the people, you know. It's, you know what I mean? So
well, this conversation is so awesome to hear, and it makes me love Prime One even more, because one thing that I love comic book art. I love comic book covers, and they're a company that will take that and make it into 3D form. So it's like this tribute to the art. So it complements the art so much, and to hear how much freedom they give you as the actual artist, like that makes me love everything even more, because that really means that you have that input, and it really means a lot more to me getting a piece in hand, knowing that you had so much input.
Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you'll go to a company, or you'll be dealing with a company, and they will say, "We want your vision." And then what happens is you'll be on a panel. You'll do a conference call of 8 different people, and they'll all put their input, and then they'll say, "Oh, but we really want your kind of, you know, your vision or whatever." But at the end of the project, because you've had 3-4 conference calls, there's all this input fired in constantly, and it ends up nothing like what you would have did, you know. But I haven't had that at all with Prime One Studio. They have actually, there's been back and forwards constantly, but they have always been wanted my vision of the thing, which is fantastic, you know, because things don't get watered down then. You know, a lot of times when people say, well, we can't really do this, we couldn't do that, and we can't do that pose because that would break, and we can't do, it's like, you know, maybe if they give me a little pushback and say, well, that may not work, that I say, well, it sort of needs to be like that for the pose, and they go, well, make it work. And that's it, you know. So it's so, you know, it's 100%, you know, what I would want, you know. So I can't wait to see it in 3 dimensions, and actually, well, maybe not hold it because I'd probably break my arms, but, you know, but see somebody else hold it, you know.
Hopefully I'll be reviewing it on the channel, I'm hoping.
Hopefully you will.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. That's awesome. Let's see, Jeff Morris, did you have any questions before we say goodbye to Ryan?
Going back to like the back and forth with Prime One, has there been any request when designing the complete every angle that surprised you, that they wanted to know?
What they as in they wanted to know?
Yeah,
know,
like
or,
a detail that you had not thought. I never gave that any kind of a thought, like a detail of,
no, not really.
The hand would look like that big.
Yeah,
because you're going from the piece of art to
yeah. Oh yeah, big. No, because the thing about it is, see, if I was able, well, whenever this thing is out and I can show everybody the designs, whenever I do designs, they are detailed, you know, like they're it's like, it's as much
more detailed than what we would have seen in the art. God. So you have already thought that far ahead, and say what Batman's armor would look like if you're looking at it this close.
Yes.
Versus from a small image. Cool.
The thing about it is, you know, say as an example, right? Say I say that Batman with the armor and stuff, right? Imagine, you know, we're looking at that one. You can see in his arm, there's lots of details where there's rope, there's leather underneath, there's chain or mail armor and stuff. And then there's different like connections and latches and stuff. Well, I would literally go round, do a side view of the whole body and detail everything with every detail, and also what I do is in this design, I've did the whole thing in all those angles, and I've turned it into black and white, and then I color code everything. and I say, this is leather, this is whatever, this is thing. Then what I do is I have expanded parts of each part of the thing, and it's saying, like, showing texture and showing, you know, there's damage in this direction, and, you know, absolutely everything, and also down to the color scheme of everything, absolutely everything, you know. It's maybe I sort of thought it was overkill, you know, at the beginning.
Surprised that you had this much detail forethought out.
They were kind of, well, it wasn't thought out for the cover, but it's what I've given them for the designs, you know. So for the
everybody was not that had thought that far ahead to think what this would look like if it's 36 inches tall.
Yeah, I think everybody works differently. And there are some people give a bit of line art, you know, and from different angles, you know, a turnaround in line art. And, you know, whenever I'm doing this stuff, I'm trying to give a bit of depth to it, a bit of 3 dimensions, and, you know, literally detailing the life out of the thing. You know, it's detailing the life out of it, and trying to explain the kind of to how there's grime in certain areas and what it should look like, you know. And, you know, just it's like, whenever I can show you the stuff, you know, whenever I can show you the designs, it's pages of detail of all angles, you know. It's,
but when we can see it, you'll have to come back and bring that.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
That would be, we could probably do a 2-hour on that.
Oh yeah, no. I think that
would be really interesting to see that, because it sounds like you've even thought about the layers of dirt, grime, skin.
Yeah.
Everything.
Because see all those things, all those elements help to tell the story.
Yeah.
And if you don't add those elements, the story is weaker, you know. And I want, exactly like a cover that I do, I want it to look, you know, I want somebody to be sucked into that moment, that environment, and, you know, and it has to have a bit of, you know, epicness in pose and in movement, you know, but also in detail, and, you know, where you'll look around this thing and you'll see things and you'll understand, oh, this is from this, and this is why that damage is on there, and wear and tear when you're wearing certain pieces of suit or something.
There's certain parts that are older than others.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that was what I came to in that.
You know, certain parts of the suit are going to wear more than other parts as well. You know, if there's metal parts that are overlapping, you're going to see scratches coming from the overlaps, you know, where they keep moving like this, you know, friction marks and stuff. So, you know, I'm thinking of absolutely everything. You know, I'm thinking of everything on this thing. So it's, you know, it's a lot of detail. So
what's your go-to program for digital drawing? Is it Photoshop or Procreate or both? Just curious.
It's Photoshop. Really, I've Procreate on my iPad. I'm another strange person, right? Where I buy something and I don't use it for like a year or 2 years or something. I bought a Wacom, or a version of like a Wacom tablet. I bought it years and years and years ago, before I started work, you know, doing covers. And I didn't use it for like a year and a half. It just sat there. And whenever I thought back to it, I thought, why the hell did I not use that? But that's just me. You know, I kind of get stuck in my way of doing something. And the thing that I sort of think is, you know, if you're using Photoshop and it's working for you, there's no point in going off and, you know, learning a new program and whatever. And the other thing is, you know, everybody changes. Well, people change to these upgraded versions of Photoshop, and in reality, all you need is a round brush, in Photoshop, and you just work with that. And that's all I use. I don't use any of the filters. I don't use any of the anything at all. I just literally a round brush and different hardnesses of that, and different opacity of it as well. And you can create yourself any textures with that type of thing, and maybe a splatter. Sometimes I would scan a spray can that's sprayed onto a page, scan that in and put it onto the thing and use it as a part of a background. Or other times what I'll do is I'll paint acrylic paint on a page, scan it in, and use it as a background to paint over digitally. So it gives grit to it. It gives believability to the thing. And a lot of the time, you're not going to be able to tell what one is digitally painted and what one's physically painted. With my covers, I kind of try and, keep them of a similar sort of vein, So, yeah. Technology, I'm not...
Yeah. I respect that, because that's old school with the Wacom and the Photoshop. Now nowadays everybody's using Procreate, and it's a little bit easier, I think, than sitting there with a Wacom tablet.
All right. Okay. The thing about it is they're all tools, aren't they? They're only tools. So there's advantages and disadvantages to everything. There's disadvantages to oil. It takes so long to dry. There's advantages to it where you can blend with it. Acrylic dries really fast, but you can overlap the acrylic over and over. But a disadvantage is if you put a dark color down, you put red over it, it looks horrible, unless you want that look, but Photoshop, you can literally put red right over black, and it's strong. So you've got advantages and disadvantages. Photoshop, you could change things infinitely, but that's also a disadvantage of Photoshop, because you have to have a vision and an idea of where you're trying to get to, instead of I'll keep changing this until it's correct. It's whenever you're working in any industry, you need to turn things around quite quickly. So you can't sit and go change. It's so, you have to, I mean, people used to have this opinion where Photoshop kind of did everything for you, where it's kind of you press a button and it just goes to work, and you sit and have a cup of tea or something, and watch TV. But the thing of, you have to understand composition, pose, anatomy, how the lighting's working, how different materials reflect. And I've even had people say, some people do this where they get a photograph of a person's face and then they'll put it in and they'll paint around it. But it's very hard to do something like that, because you get all these bounce lights, on a photograph of a person's face. Like when you see all these lights, they're all reflecting, and to then draw a body and draw whatever and make that look like it's in the environment is very hard to do. So, and the other thing is you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're not going to be able to draw those faces, if you just keep plopping photographs in all the time. So I kind of like the hard way of doing things, it's because I believe that there's a skill in it, and it's in my opinion, it's all about the skill. It's art is about skill, I think. So now, and also what I would say is I am definitely nowhere near where I want to be, in art, nowhere near. And I constantly look at my stuff and I constantly think, oh God, that looks terrible, and there's a lot of covers I just can't look at again, because all I see is the faults in them, but it's one of those things. It's, if you are going to have a career in art, you have to have a business side of your brain and an art side, and both of them are in conflict with each other, because the business side is saying you have to promote your work. The art side is saying, I don't want to show anybody this because it looks like shit, and that is the problem. You have to kind of, you need both those, but you need to compartmentalize the two different brains, really, you know. And you'll find good artists, but they're not good at promoting their own work. And that's like me sitting in a closet somewhere, you know, painting, and nobody ever sees it. You could be painting the Mona Lisa or, you know, whatever, and nobody ever sees it. So it doesn't matter how good it is. It's all about, you know, promotion and producing the goods as well, isn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Well, listening to you, I can feel your drive. I can feel your passion for what you do. We've had other artists on this channel, and just listening to the amount of detail that you put into your work and the forethought, it just tells me that you are going to be at the very top of this industry. I really, truly believe that. Your art is you can just see the passion in your artwork. It's incredible. I wanted to put up somebody's comment. This is Rick Cruz in the chat, says, wow, I think this might be the best convo with an artist that we've ever seen in this forum. So great to hear your thoughts or your insights into the process. And I want to echo that.
You've been very, very thorough and forthcoming with how your process and all that. And have you done Hawkman yet? Because if you've not, I think you should.
No, and I want to.
I would love to see your take on Hawkman.
Oh, really? You want to do a Moon Knight? Oh my God!
Yeah,
Moon Knight would be cool.
There's a whole pile of characters I want to draw, you know, and I just haven't got around to them yet. But I sort of every once in a while I give Marvel a little list of things that I want to draw and say if you've got any covers for this coming up or whatever, and then they fire me a cover, and then it's all exciting and stuff.
You should angle yourself, Ryan, to do like a Moon Knight print for the show when they announce it. You should try to angle something.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Well, I did do stuff for the Avengers game last year. I did like a big art print for one of the launches for it and stuff. So every once in a while they'll throw me something interesting like that, you know. And I also worked for Marvel Studios as well. I did some concept stuff for them and some of their style guide work as well and stuff before I worked for the comic side of it.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite cover?
I'm gonna put this in because ear thing died.
No,
sorry.
I can still hear you.
Yes, I've got you now. Yep. I have to say, it would have to go with like characters, and I love drawing the Joker. You know, it's
good answer.
I know I have so many ideas that I want to do for the Joker. You know, But saying that again, it's like, do you like dessert or do you like main courses or do you like pizza or do you, you know, it's like at one moment I love this, and in another moment I need a little palate cleanser, so I'll go off and thing, you know. And I've even did a Gwen Stacy cover, you know, of her brushing her hair and looking in a mirror, you know. It was like, and they said, do you want to draw Gwen Stacy? And I was like, you know, this is all wrong, but I'll do it. You know? So it's just like, you know, I've did GoBots, I've did covers for GoBots and things, you know. It's like sometimes you just have to do it, don't you? You know, it's a bit crazy, but you have to, you know.
Well, the Joker cover that's behind you, that's one of my favorites, you know, of all time covers. I absolutely love that cover. It's so maniacal and twisted. I love the different eyeball colors. It's just everything about it is just fantastic. And I just want to take this opportunity again. And I'm sorry we kept you so long.
No, don't worry about it.
But I just wanted to thank you so very much for coming on the show tonight. It's been a true honor to hear your insight into this industry. And I'm so excited not only for more artwork from you, but I'm also excited to see the statues, of course, from Prime One. I'm hoping we get a Joker at some point. That would be amazing. But anyway, I just want to thank you so very much for being on the show.
No problem. And thank you for bringing me on. And it's been nice chatting to everybody and stuff. And the thing about it is, you know, I'm totally amazed that people love my artwork. You know, it's like, it's fantastic. So like, I'm doing a job that I love to do. And when people say that they love what I'm doing as well, is absolutely brilliant, you know. And I try and be as straight with everybody as possible, you know, kind of no fakery and no whatever, and just be totally honest about the whole thing. So, you know, it's kind of, it's nice when people like what you're doing, you know. So I'll just keep doing it as long as people are liking it.
We would love that. Yeah, we would love that. Well, thank you again so very much. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
See you later. Cheers.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Take care, Ryan.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
Wow, that was awesome.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, Chris. Thank you for being able to get it.
Thanks to Ryan. You know, actually, Ryan reached out to me because he, whenever I was doing kind of my recap on the Prime 1 event, he actually let me know what it was. I have to keep it secret, of course. But you know, he reached out and I just said, "Hey, would you like to be on the show?" And he's like, "I would love to do the live show." So it's just, man, what an incredible, awesome interview that was. That was so great. I've said it a lot of times on the show, like I love the behind the scenes stuff, and man, was that behind the scenes? Like that is, and I don't know if that kind of level of detail goes into every statue made, but just to see how much he's putting in it, I bet Prime One's very, very happy to work with him.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Because like I asked him, I bet every person that does a concept for them hasn't thought about everything that they've asked for, because you know they probably have sent a thing. Well, we need to see what the upper elbow up to the shoulder looks like from here, and he's probably turned around and sent them a damn folder full of immediately, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, I love it. I love it. Well, I do want to thank everybody that's been in the chat so far. I'm sorry I haven't been able to say hello to you. And I know I'm going to miss some folks, but I want to say hello. And then we'll get to some photos. Is that cool with you guys?
Yep.
Totally cool.
All right. I'm just going to go back a ways. I know we had Dan the man. Dan, I just want to give you a shout out. Feel better. Feel better.
Oh, he's under the weather. Well, hopefully he gets better.
He had a back tweak today. So as somebody with I have major back problems, so I definitely feel his pain, so to speak. But we're all wishing you well. Archangel's in the house. We've got Thornton Applebottom, Collector's Therapy we saw earlier. We've got Greg Folks in the house. Again, Greg, thank you so much for sending me that Joker cover. That was awesome. Love this community.
Yeah,
Astronomers World, sorry. Pimricas are here. Let's see. Dylan Hicks is in the house. Edwin Diaz is here as always. Thank you, everybody, for always being here. It's so awesome. Thomas, Toy Story 4. Thank you very much, Thomas. Said hello to Rick. Let's see. Other Edwin Diaz. I love that we've got two. That's pretty awesome. Sean Dietrich.
It's like the Jeffs. We got an OG Jeff and a Jeff 1.5.
We sure do. We sure do. Let's see. Nathan's here. Thank you very much. I love the interview too. That was so fun. I wish we could have had him longer. I feel so bad because he had a half hour. We took an hour. So but it was a great one. Dan says, thank you so much, boys. I'll be back. Absolutely. Better be. Absolutely. Okay. Well, I think that's a good chunk of the people in here. 74 people watching right now. Thank you so very much. I know that interviews are not everybody's cup of tea. I know not everybody tunes in for the interviews, but that was incredible. And thank you guys for watching that portion. That was awesome. All right. Let's get to the photos. All right. Here we go. Oh, somebody said that they wanted to see, I think they wanted to see the heavy metal cover again.
Yeah, Archangel asked for it.
Yeah. So there's the heavy metal cover. I think he just said he just did the one. But beautiful cover.
Chris, show the second slide, the headshot of Batman. I'm sorry, it's Joker.
This one?
Yeah, I want to let people know, if you're interested in Ryan's process, there's a 1-minute YouTube video of the evolution of this cover, starting with just a splash of white and a splash of black and red, and then just slowly evolving into this much detail. It's really cool to watch.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome. I have not seen that either, so that's awesome. I got to check that out.
Yeah.
I will find it, and I will put that link in the show notes down below in the description. So if you're watching this after the fact, I'll have the link down below. Okay. Great information. And again, I love this one. It's so terrifying. Love it. Definitely captures the Joker there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And this one too. Like this one I think is really creepy. I love this one.
I love the tiny Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's just so well done, so creepy, almost Scarecrow-esque. I really like it.
Yep.
Okay, I'll quit talking about those. Okay, so here we go. Number one, boom.
Boom is right.
We're going to start right out of the gate with something absolutely incredible. So I did my hits and miss video the other day, kind of sharing my thoughts, but now I want to share, of course, the thoughts of the gallery tonight. But this one came out late. It wasn't actually at the convention. It was just kind of a behind-the-scenes photo. What do you guys think of this thing?
Stunning.
I agree with Jeff. Stunning. It literally looks like Margot Robbie. It like perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing I would change on that. It looks perfect.
So it does beg the question, these busts are becoming popular because they're getting to be just so incredibly good. Like they're so well done, but these things are out of the price range of most collectors. Yep. Do you guys think that this is something that's going to catch on, or do you think this is literally just for a very, very select few?
I think it'll be
to move pretty well, the ones that have come out.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a specialization, and it'll be for a select few. You'll have those one-off collectors like who love Harley, and they'll do what they can to try to get this one, but the rest of their collection may be smaller Harley statues. But I think that this is a specialty that the company is doing, and I think it's more to a selective clientele.
This is Infinity Studio. I did forget to say that. This is Infinity Studio 1-to-1 bust. They are typically more inclined to do like the whole torso, which like I'm kind of like to the point like if you're going to do that, just do the whole thing, do the whole body. Because I mean, regardless, she's going to take up as much space. But man, just absolutely incredible. I said in my video yesterday that it's almost like Madame Tussauds quality. Like it's like a professional wax figure, but of course this is silicone. Is that something you guys worry about being medical, or this? They call them platinum silicone. Do you guys worry about that at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Especially depending on where you are.
I feel like if you're one of those collectors that are always worried and have like a lot of humidity and a lot of like direct sunlight, this is not for you.
No.
But I do feel like if you have a temperature controlled room, it's cool. I think this is going to last a long time. I feel, but it's untested. It's uncharted waters.
How many do they normally make of these not life size, half scale busts or half?
No, they are life size. I mean, this is
half torso bust.
Yeah. I don't know the edition sizes on these. I've heard this is. Did you guys hear like 3,800?
Yeah,
that's cost. Yeah.
So that's the price point, but I don't know about the edition size. Probably not a ton.
I'd say less than 1,000, if not 1,000.
Also, 3,800 is the price, not the edition size.
Yeah, 3,800 for the price.
Yeah, the edition sizes on these is small.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
But I have heard a lot of collectors this week say, I've heard a lot of collectors say this week that they're going to sell their whole collection for this.
Oh,
so if you're having people say that,
there's your answer.
There's your answer. Yeah, but
their Wonder Woman was 580 pieces.
Oh, that's a lot.
Okay, that's more than I was expecting.
So I don't know. I'll look at Batman and see what it is.
The thing is, though, I don't think you're going to have collectors buying 5 1-to-1 scale Margot Robbie Harleys.
No.
Whereas they might buy 2 or 3 quarter scale statues of her. So I think it is a niche market where each character is going to get their spotlight, but I'm not sure if they're going to get a revisit.
I agree with you. I also think that, the debate has been, okay, do you buy this or do you buy 4 Prime 1 statues or do you buy 8 quarter scale statues. The thing is, yes, you might be able to have 3 Margot Robbie half scale or 1/3 scale, but are they ever going to be able to top this?
No.
And I feel like the answer is no.
Yeah. But if you have 5 other members of the Suicide Squad in quarter scale, is this going to fit in your collection at all?
No.
Personally, I'd rather have a 3rd scale or personally, I'd rather have a 3rd scale or 4th scale statue than this.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of collectors feel that way. I have 3 busts in my collection right now. I'm considering a 4th. This is one I am considering. I just think it's
big, though, right?
Say that again.
Nothing this big though, right? You just have like the ordinary bust. This is like half torso.
Yeah,
like.
Nothing this big. I've got just the standard shoulder busts. But some of these are speaking to me. This one especially, I don't know if I want to spend that much money. But there are maybe a couple of pieces I would be interested in, like Dark Knight pieces, and maybe this one, just because it's so incredible. Like I've just never seen anything like this. So it's a possibility for the Batman statue collector, but it's just an incredible piece. We'll move on to this one. This is more of that traditional bust that Eric was just talking about. This, of course, is from Queen Studio. Also, I think $3,800, if I remember right. Very similar price, maybe a little bit less. But what do you guys think of this piece from Queen Studio?
Overall, it looks great. I think regarding the back of the base, it might be a little bit of a. I mean, it's a cool looking scene in the back, but I mean, are you really going to see the back of the base? But overall, I think it looks fantastic.
I agree with you. I think that it won't be seen. The front of the base is the stairs, which I thought that was very clever.
Yeah.
But again, I almost look at the back as kind of like this hidden Easter egg that only you know is back there.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. It's going to be hidden most of the time because these are not going to be easy to turn unless you have it on a turntable.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think of the likeness?
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's spot on.
I think if they're expecting $3,800 for that, a traditional bust, that seems high.
Yeah,
I agree. Because if you look at Infinity with the whole torso, and this you just get the shoulders.
Yeah.
But at the same time, people might prefer this look over the. Maybe they don't want the arms. What I think it's weird is whenever a bust has one arm and not one arm, like one's missing.
Yeah, like Deadpool. Deadpool's got
it's weird. And even this Thanos that we're going to see in a bit, like it has one arm, and then the other one's cut off. So I don't like that as much. I'd rather either have this or the other with both arms, I guess.
Yeah.
Right.
None or both.
Yeah.
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 I also want to give a shout out to this model and her dress. I know that's been a lot of photos this week.
Yeah.
There's Thanos in the background.
That's so huge.
We'll see him in just a minute here. But this is also a bust. If I get a few busts, this would be one I'd consider as well because I do really like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
There's the base, the stairs that we said on the front, and then here's the back. I think it's probably like 1/10 scale, but it does have a light up feature. I mean, it's just incredible that they put this much thought into the back of a bust. But really cool design, right?
You know, if you're going to spend that much money, you know, why not spend another $100 on a mechanized turntable and have that thing rotating?
Yeah.
It just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yep. I agree.
I would agree too.
I agree. Okay, boom. So at first when I saw this, and this is the best photo of him. This is also Infinity Studio here. This is again a full torso Dark Knight Heath Ledger. At first, I didn't think it's perfect, and I still think that they could tweak it a little bit. I think that the face needs to be squished down just a little. I feel like it's too narrow. But this is a piece. Depending on price, I'm going to be buying this. What do you guys think? What'd you say, Jeff?
I think I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's too surprised. But I love my Queen Studios bust that I have, but this one with the jacket and the card, I just think it's just.
It looks a little bit better, I think.
I do too. I think
it looks a little more real.
I'm finding the same thing with we talked about it in our group earlier with the Ivy. The lighting is key, and I think with this one, it just depends on the lighting and how the shadows are hitting his face. But I do feel like this looks way more like him. I think maybe the hair could be a little bit thinned because his hair is a lot thinner in person. But man, just incredible! I can't wait to own this thing.
Is there a price on that one yet?
Not yet. I'm terrified.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm terrified. But I have made the decision, unless I change my mind. But I am going to sell the Queen Studios one.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
And hopefully use some of that money to pay for this thing. I don't love the tattered jacket at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they really think about that. I know it was kind of meant to be this burned out base, which even has this hidden Batman logo. I don't know if you guys noticed that or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, look at that. I haven't noticed.
Let me kind of zoom in on it here. It's kind of like the shadow of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like in the middle.
It's got the knife back here, and also a lot of people have missed, but he actually has a full arm in the back that's holding his Joker mask.
Huh. Really?
Nice.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if I have another angle. I don't think I have an angle of it, but yeah, he's holding the Joker. He's like his arms back behind, and he's holding the clown mask.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
That just up the cost a little bit more.
Yeah.
This next piece, I kind of put that in bad order here, but this is a Queen Studio 1/3 scale. So this is going to compete with the Prime 1 piece. I think both are very, very good, but I want to hear your thoughts on this piece. This, of course, is the scene from the Murray show. But what do you guys think of this? What do you think of the sculpt? What do you think of the art direction?
We have a code.
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right.
It's probably already too late to get it.
What's the code? What's the code?
Man, it's LYGSSFB group.
Oh, boy.
That's hard to remember.
Yes, it is. All right. I'm signing in. Sorry, guys. Everybody do that. Everybody go and get your code. All right. Would you be able to repeat that one more time, Jeff?
1 second, please.
Yeah, no problem.
LYGSSFB group.
I don't know what that stands for. $2 code. Got it.
Well, Sideshow Facebook group, but LYG.
I'm not sure what that is. Yeah.
Sideshow.
Well, thank you for whoever posted that or whoever said that.
It popped up. And it went right in. No waiting line.
Good. Thank God. We could talk about that for an hour tonight. Probably won't get into that too much. Well, congratulations to everybody got the code. I hope everybody got it. Yeah, there was no spinning wheel this time.
Yeah, that's cool.
It is for me.
Great. No, it is for you?
Yeah, it's the usual.
And I wasn't even signed in that time. That's rare because usually I have to.
The only one that went in for me today.
That's what I get every time I log in.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
It'll just stay like that for 10 minutes.
I don't even try to pursue the codes. I tried it a few times a long time ago, and I wasn't successful, and I was like, I'm okay. I can sleep just fine at night.
but it's $2.
$2.
Yeah, I don't want to be like what is it, Stewie? I don't want to be like Stewie beating up Kevin for $2. Yeah. Where's my money?
All right, well, let's get back. What?
Back to your question. I am amazed at how many Phoenix Joker statues there are.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I didn't think you'd get this much love, but it's amazing.
Yeah, it's like Phoenix Joker Con.
Yeah,
it really was. I couldn't believe it either. I mean, there were 3 legit pieces, high-end pieces at this event, in addition then to the Prime 1 piece. But yeah, I couldn't believe it either. It just makes you wonder. I'm assuming the Prime 1 piece is sold quite well.
This one right here is my favorite. I really like this.
It's really well done. And this is, of course, is very well sculpted, but it's more of that serious take. Whereas K.A. Kim from Prime 1, beautiful, probably the best head sculpt I've ever seen. But it is that smirking portrait. So it is a different look for sure. Let me see if I think this video will play here. Just a little video. Is that showing up on your screen, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys think it'll be too deep? Like, are you worried about the depth on that piece? It looks like it's going to be
deep.
Deep. But I mean, look at that. I think that looks incredible.
Yep. And I probably shouldn't mention it, but there's something missing from his right hand.
Oh yes.
And I think it looks awkward without it.
People have brought it up. We're not sure if it's like maybe a Warner Brothers thing, because in the movie he does have a cigarette, and maybe it's just that I don't know. I just don't know the backstory on it, but a lot of people have noticed that, and also from the bust as well.
So if you bought this, would you throw a cigarette between those two fingers?
I don't know. Do they make 1/3 scale cigarettes? I don't know. I bet somebody's gonna try.
You'd have to roll your own.
Yeah. But anyway, this is a really cool piece, and I've also heard that this is going to be available in sculpted hair and rooted.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if I would like this one as much rooted. I love my rooted Queen Studios piece, but I just feel like this is very well done. And I like the color of the hair. Okay, so look at this thing. This thing is ridiculous, right?
Yep.
It has got to be the biggest thing I've ever seen collectible-wise. I'm going to predict that we're close to 10K for this thing. Do you think I'm way off?
How much do you think shipping charges are for that one?
Oh my God!
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah.
I'll say 7,600, double their other offerings.
76 with about what? I'm getting quotes from Prime 1 for like $800. This thing, what do you think? Do you think $2,000 for shipping? Like, I just can't even imagine.
Yeah,
it's definitely coming on a pallet, right?
Yeah. You would think.
It's easily 4 boxes. It's easily 4 boxes for sure.
Just think of the weight. If this is all like solid polystone,
crazy.
Now I would assume that maybe he's not as heavy, because I would assume like the arm and the head will be silicone. But do you feel like this was a slap in the face for people that just bought the other bust?
This one's a lot bigger. I mean,
it's just so different. Like, it is a different take for sure.
It's the risk you take anytime you buy a statue.
Yeah.
You're exactly, Jeff, you said it right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because you blink and something new and better is going to be out.
She really seems to like it, though.
Yeah, she does. She's warming up to Thanos, but yeah, this thing is just insane. Does it bother you that it doesn't have the other arm?
It's
a little weird.
Yeah, but why not? If you're going to do half the body instead of a traditional bust, why not include both arms?
Yeah. Unless they couldn't figure out what they would do with the other arm, maybe.
Yeah.
But he could have like another grip or another grasp or something. I don't know, or like a grip.
Yeah.
But anyway, an incredible piece. I can't wait to see how much this thing ends up being. But it is incredible, and congrats to anybody that's willing to get this thing.
Looks like something at Universal Studios on display.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyway, very, very large statue. That's just insane. Wow. And I would assume that's life size. I mean, legit life size. Because the other bust was undersized. I mean, it was not. They called it a life size bust, but it was not to scale for him. But anyway, incredible likeness. All right, we'll move on from him. Okay, so this one didn't get very much love. This is from Infinity Studios also. I said in my video, I feel like he's tired. What's missing on this piece? Or do you guys love it?
Other than what's supposed to be in his hand? Or
Yeah.
I said it looks like a sad Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does.
I mean, I feel like the likeness is there.
Yeah, there's nothing of flary about it. Like, there's nothing. like the bases and all that. The bottom leading edge of the jacket and the shirt is just kind of there. There's nothing, it's just ragged, somewhat looking, and yeah, it just doesn't pop. It really doesn't. There's nothing exciting really about it.
Some of the other pieces really translate his attitude very well, and I'm not sure that this one does. Even the one where he's sitting down, really, that you can feel the attitude coming off of that statue. This one, not so much.
Yeah,
Jeff, I think you hit it right on the head again. Because I do feel like the likeness is here. I mean, I definitely see him, but you're exactly right. It's just the expressions are so well caught on those other pieces. I'm sure that after feedback, they're going to tweak this thing. But I do feel like the other pieces are more expressive for sure. This is another bust from Infinity Studios that got a lot of attention. This is whether you like her or hate her. This is the Mira bust. What do you guys think of this one?
I think it looks like a very well polished cosplayer. Like seriously, it looks really good. It looks, well done. I'm not knocking the artist or anything like that. It just looks, there's a quality missing for it, at least for me.
It doesn't show any life.
Yeah, there's just a quality, something of the quality that's missing.
It's maybe like a little dead eyes.
Or just a flat expression. Yeah, just an expressionless face.
I mean, it goes back to the question about these busts. Like, are they creepy?
Yes.
That one is.
Yeah, I mean, you can say that some of these busts are creepy. I think that's why I like that Ledger Joker one more, because it's not just the actor, it's the paint. Whereas this is literally the actress. I mean, I think that's the difference for me, is I like the ones that are kind of behind the character, behind the makeup. And I think that's why the Joker ones speak to me, or it could be the fact that I'm a giant Joker fan.
I guess I'm in the minority, but I actually like this. I wouldn't buy it just based on the character, but I do like it overall.
I do too. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's very well done. I think it looks like her. I think it looks very much like her.
Absolutely. It is very well done, and it does look like her, but there's just something.
Do you need it in your collection? It's like,
yeah. I mean, you have to be a giant fan of her to have this.
Yeah.
Exactly. I do like this, like the water effect, like she's kind of above the surface, I think, or below or above the surface. I think that's kind of neat, kind of an art piece there. But anyway, that was a big reveal. This one right here, I don't know if I've ever seen a likeness better than this one.
Yeah.
I said before that I like the characters with the paint and whatnot, but this one I feel like is alive. I feel like it is like it's a real person right next to you. I mean, what do you guys think of this thing?
I don't think it could be any realer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is awesome.
I mean, I've never seen anything more impressive. Like I've seen, they've done a lot of great statues over the years, but oh my God, this feels like a living, breathing person. The movement helps. I think that helps with it.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
But I don't know who this artist is. I would love to know these artists, but I've just never seen anything more impressive than that. It looks like a photograph of him.
It really does.
Yeah.
Creepy good. All right, let's go on to another piece. This was revealed by Queen Studios. I think this is their first venture into quarter scale, which makes me think this will probably be regional. But what do you guys think of this piece? It's a Thanos on throne.
I think if you have Cap and Thor and Iron Man from Iron Studios, you're going to want this to pair with those for sure.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah, he would fit in very, very well with those. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Jeff, you have some of those pieces. Is this one that you would consider picking up?
Probably not. Just because I already have one. So
do you, if you hadn't, let's say you hadn't bought the one you have, would you consider this one more, or do you still like the one you have here?
Probably.
What I like about this is that it kind of like, it reminds me of the end of the movie, like when he's sitting on the porch, kind of like thinking everything over. Like, I just threw my daughter over a cliff. I just killed half of the world. It captures a lot of emotion in the statue. I like this a lot.
What are you guys thinking of another company doing quarter?
Good.
It provides more options, more choices.
Yeah. And I think that it creates better competition.
Yep.
And again, we say it all the time, but it only benefits the collectors.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah, for sure.
Incredible piece.
More high shipping costs.
Say that again, Jeff.
More high shipping costs.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the bad thing. That's for sure. This is a half scale piece. I can't remember if we've seen this one before at other shows, but I think it's cool. Looks good. What do you guys think of this one? Do you like that? Do you like that scale at all? Not for me.
I like the scale. I got 2 of them myself. What I don't like, go back to the other picture, Chris, if you could. I don't like the connections there with the legs. Yeah, I don't like that. No, if you go up to where it connects in the
here.
Yeah, that's very off-putting to me. The 2 that I have don't kind of connect like that, and
yeah, it kind of looks like an action figure.
Yeah,
it does. The Iron Man diaper.
Yeah, yeah, it really does. It has that. It has, to me, overall, it looks really good. But taking the whole thing in and seeing that, it takes me out of liking it even more.
Is that the design of the suit? I mean, it reminds me of like classic Iron Man. I don't remember him having that type of design. I'm not an Iron Man expert, but
must be.
Yeah. Well, that design was the very early red and yellow one, which fit that I think it was like maybe the Mark. I think it was like maybe the Mark IV, maybe, or Mark II, something like. Or no, not Mark II, Mark III or Mark IV in the comic book, not in the movies.
Okay. So it's accurate though to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, in terms of color scheme, it's very different. It's a yellow.
Now, what about that leg joint? Is that accurate? Like, is that the way it's supposed to look? And wherever, is it a comic piece or a movie piece? I don't even know.
I think it's a combination, to be honest with you. The pieces I have don't the leg connecting parts right there don't look anything like that.
Yeah, that's strange then.
Yeah,
this is Mark 7.
Mark 7. Yeah,
Mark 7 Avengers. So this is supposed to be a movie version. That's a good point you bring up.
Yeah. Now it's possible that that one in itself, that's probably how it looked in the movie, and maybe it's just the pose that it sticks out.
Yeah,
could be. Could be. Well, I know Jeff Morse got excited about this one. 1-to-1 scale. Jeff, are you going to get 3 of these?
Yeah.
I hear silence.
One for the front door, one for the back door, and
one to your room.
Yeah.
God, it's I can't even imagine the cost, but it is incredible.
Wow.
Look at that thing.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful.
It very much is, yeah.
Beautiful. They had another, I can't remember what mark this is. Let's see if I can zoom in and say, I can't remember. Mark 85.
Wow, 1-for-1 as well.
Yeah, this is 1-to-1 scale. I think this one's really good. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, it's nice.
They obviously are going to do a whole line of the different armors, which is exciting if you're an Iron Man collector, especially a bust collector. But I've said it before, if I'm not collecting Batman, I would be collecting these busts without a doubt. I love these.
Yeah, my issue with Iron Man is I'm a traditionalist, so I love the circle arc reactor. I like the circle in the chest. I don't care for the triangle or any other different design. So for me, it's I think Jeff, you and I are the same. The Silver Centurion armor is that one that you liked? Delaney, I think it was Jeff.
Me?
Yeah, don't you like the Centurion one?
I'm okay with it. I don't know.
I know there was someone in the group we were talking, and someone had said that they liked the Silver Centurion armor, and I love that one. That's the one that that was I think introduced in like issue 200 or 199, something like that. And it's like a red and silver with a dash of gold in it. But if they did a bust of that, oh man, I'd call it a day.
Then they showed this one too. This is the Pepper Potts. I can't remember what they call this thing.
Rescue. This one's
Rescue.
Rescue.
Yeah. Do you guys think this one will sell very well?
No, this
I
is
don't know.
the bus that nobody was asking for.
Yeah.
I said in my video, I said if they did a Gwyneth Paltrow head sculpt,
Yeah.
maybe that would have been more popular. But I just can't imagine this one being very popular.
Right.
No.
This was another surprise. This is a Wonder Woman, I believe, quarter scale, and I think it's Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot, or it's comic. I can't really tell.
That's nice.
But this is not a painted prototype. But I said in my video, the thing that bothers me is that most of her face is kind of covered by her arm.
Yeah.
Which does obscure her face a little bit. But what do you guys think of this pose and this the fact that they're going to do 1/4 here as well?
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Some adjustment.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to see it painted.
Yep.
I'm almost thinking about picking this up.
Yeah, I'm getting the Hydra one. I'm getting I'm going to try to get the Wonder Woman on fighting the Hydras. Oh man, that one was awesome, and I've been waiting for one that I really love, and I love that one. And this one, thank you for showing it, Chris, because if they can adjust her arm a little bit to show her face more, I would be like Eric. I would get this too.
Yeah, that's my only issue too. The arm, she has to be at like the perfect angle, otherwise, you're not even going to see her face. I mean, you can still tell it's Wonder Woman, but
yeah, portrait and being able to see a face is key to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this would be regional as well.
I would assume, Jeff. I would assume. I mean, they kind of came out of the blue with quarter. So they've done a couple 1/3, life size, but this is whole new territory here. So I would assume regional.
Yeah.
But I guess time will tell. I wanted to show these busts. These are the Transformers busts. I feel like the first time we showed them on the channel, they were much bigger. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. Like I felt like they were going to be way bigger, but I feel like they've downsized them a little bit. Did you guys get that same feeling?
Yeah. That looked bigger in the picture where the guy was in the photo with it.
Yeah, when he was on the floor.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this looks half that size, which I think is probably smart.
yeah. I mean,
For collectors.
I mean, would you want it any bigger?
It just looks more manageable to me, but
Yeah.
I think these are really good.
The paint is phenomenal on Megatron. Man, that is just amazing.
So much detail. I don't like this one as much, but I really like Bumblebee looks good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just compared to this model is probably pretty tiny.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes me think it's more almost like a half scale-ish, like an upsize half scale or something. I'm not sure, but I did want to point that out because I know some people probably thought it was going to be way bigger.
Yeah. I mean, once you go in that big, I think they can make it a drop bigger and better overall.
Yeah, I think more people will pick it up at this scale. But anyway, lots of detail, really cool piece. I threw this in. These are some production photos of the Queen Studios life-size bust. And this thing I feel like is incredible. I know a lot of people are really excited, but what do you think of the final product here, guys?
If I were a bust collector, I'd definitely buy this one. I like it a lot more than the Infinity Studios one. The pose, the likeness, everything.
Yeah. I do too.
There's life in those eyes too. Like there's just an intensity in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. This it's not quite to the Bruce Lee version, but I feel like she feels alive to me.
Yep. And her hairline is better than on the Infinity Studios.
Yes, a lot better. Yeah, this piece has been retooled and it is absolutely gorgeous in my mind. I love this piece. Beautiful. I threw this picture in. They did have some pieces at Prime One at this event. Nothing new, but it's always nice to see these photos. And again, congratulations to anybody that has this piece. It looked incredible. We also got to see Batcave, which looks great. This is still on my maybe list, but I did want to say I announced it the other day. But you see this Bane back here in the background?
Yeah,
he's coming to the Batcave.
Oh, you're getting them. Nice.
I got my shipping notice today. So
wow.
It's anywhere from 1 to 3 months. And if I'm anything like Jeff Delaney and his Harley Quinn, it'll be exactly that 3 months.
3.5.
3.5. Oh, great. Even better.
But
maybe I'm hoping I get them by Christmas, but I'm not holding my breath.
Yeah.
Chris, where did you place your order through?
I did place it from Prime One Direct.
Okay.
I did that because I did find out through some folks that this is a kind of a Prime One regional exclusive. And so you won't be able to get the exclusive hardly anywhere. There are a few retailers that were able to pick this up, but they're already sold out. And so I really thought this was an EX or bust for me. And I have to pay a lot for shipping. I think it was maybe $380.
Okay, so about 400.
So close to 400. The Express was like $680.
Wow.
And I'm not paying that. But anyway, I'm glad he's coming to the Batcave. I just felt like I had to have him.
Yeah.
This was revealed by XM Studios. We have some actual physical sculpts here of the Batman Who Laughs. This is going to be quarter scale. This will be a regional piece. This is not going to be available outside of Asia. But a lot of people not happy necessarily with the Robins. I do really like this is growing on me more, and I really like the wings. The wings portrait, and I found out from Aang this week. He posted that it is taken from a cover, which makes me like it more.
Yeah.
And so that makes me pretty happy. And I don't think I got a photo with the wings.
And the wings are removable, so if you don't like the wings, you just take it off. Right?
Correct. There's a smiling portrait and a smirking portrait. But what do you guys think of this overall? Like, do you like it better now that you know it's from a cover?
I think the other one, the one that's just come out that everyone's been getting, is way better than this one. I think
Prime One.
Yeah, the Prime One. I think that one is just way better than this. This to me would be like a starter piece. You know.
Well, I mean, if you're a quarter scale collector, this is your only option so far.
Yep.
There's the wings.
I'm in agreement on the Robins. They look a little not as good as the Prime One, obviously, but overall, I think it looks good. The wings have grown on me. I like the way the wings look now.
I do too. And again, like Jeff said about it's your only option right now. And as of this filming, that is the case. But the price point is similar to the Prime One third scale.
Really?
I believe. Especially once you factor in shipping and everything else. So that might deter some folks.
I think the retail was like $1,099 converted.
That sounds right. That sounds right. So it's going to be up to the personal collector. Like Jeff said, if somebody is really wanting a quarter scale in their collection, this is a great option.
Mm-hmm.
It's growing on me. The wings look really great. I like the wings.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Let's see. Well, I guess I had more pictures than I thought, but yeah, right there. That's it for me right there. I like the wings. Okay, we also had we of course had this premiere on the channel. Again, I want to thank Tweeterhead for letting me do that. And this is the exclusive. This was shown this week. She is up for pre-order at tweeterhead.com if you want the exclusive. You can also go on sideshow.com for the regular. We did get to see her a little bit today on the Sideshow Con, which was really cool to see her. It looks a lot bigger than I was expecting, which I can't. Jeff, do you remember the price point on this one?
Is it $340 for the exclusive?
I feel like you're right. I think it's like $340, $350, somewhere in there. And some people were complaining about the price, but you also have to understand the size of this thing and the size of this base. With the throne. So Chad did say he commented that this is not going to be the norm for prices. Yeah. You're going to have a much more simplistic base, I think, for most of these. So that's why the price is a little bit higher. But in my opinion, I think it's worth it because it is a bigger piece.
And it's almost gone. The exclusive, Chad posted hours ago that less than 50 remain.
Yeah, I was texting back and forth with him earlier today, and he said the same thing. He's just like, he's been really happy. People are obviously really loving this Ivy. And yeah, if you want the exclusive, you're not going to have much longer to get it. And they did release some new photos since the ones I just had that one photo. And so we got some other angles and just beautiful portrait.
And the exclusive isn't tiny. It's 4.5 inches tall.
Oh, wow. That's big.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big either. That's crazy. But anyway, beautiful statue. I'm hoping to review this on the channel. I know, Jeff, you're going to probably do the same.
Yep.
So congratulations to anybody that picks her up. I do really feel like she's beautiful, has that kind of that classic look, classic Hollywood look. I really like it. This was another one we saw. This was, I can't remember the studio here, but I thought this was neat for some Michael Jackson fans, that Smooth Criminal, kind of an interesting look. We also saw this one. This had some controversy over at Sideshow today or yesterday. This is the Mark 42. It's a repaint of the original maquette. I actually owned that one. And this is the Mark 43. It is also done by Legacy Effects. I think the base is a little bit different. And I don't remember, see if you guys do, but I don't remember the one I had light up.
It did, yeah.
Oh, it did light up.
It lit up. The only thing that's different that I'm noticing is it's missing the railing that used to be on the base on the floor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Okay. So they simplified the base a little bit. It's funny because so many people prefer this red armor over that yellow armor. And so, a lot of people were really wanting this for a long time, and now they finally did it. So were you guys surprised by this repaint, or do you feel like it's a great addition?
I'd say both. It was a surprise that they did a repaint, but I mean, it looked like it would be a nice addition.
It's a few years too late.
Late?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collectors were repainting these, the Mark 42s, like 3 years ago when it first came out.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
Well, I know that this is over 4 years because this my 4-year anniversary on this channel is November, and I had the 42 way before that. So we might be like almost 5 years.
Yeah.
It was an under $400 maquette.
And what are they asking for now? Do we know yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Not up for pre-order yet.
It ain't going to be 380 though.
No, we're not going to be 380. Whenever you add the word maquette, always add a couple $100 on maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was the other reveal. We have surprisingly had not very many reveals yet. The week is early though, so I'm still very hopeful that we're going to see some new things. I think we're going to see some new DC pieces. But this was revealed to be a sculpt by Martin Canali, which is one of my favorite Sideshow artists. He always does an amazing job. This one has either been loved or hated. It's somewhere in between. But what do you guys think of this particular piece from Sideshow?
I think if you pair him with Sabretooth,
Yeah.
based off,
Yeah.
it probably will work really well.
Yeah, they'll complement each other.
But if you want to put him with Colossus and the old, X-23, that won't work at all.
No.
So it's very specific, I think.
Kind of like a one and done piece, really. You have, like you said,
You have to have both.
Yeah.
I wish he was face fronting instead of, he's literally jumping from the side and he's like that. Like I can't think of a panel, and this is just off the top of my head, but I cannot think of a specific panel where he's in that pose. It's usually he's lunging forward, but I know that the last Wolverine PF, they have him lunging because he's on, well, not quite lunging, but he's about to when he's in the Sentinel hand. So, I think he was more forward facing.
Yeah.
I could see that. So there's the backside. It is a very dynamic. Sideshow is doing such a great job. It almost looks like if I zoom in here, it looks like his leg is this whole thing is gonna be keyed into the base. You can see this seam line here. So it makes me think that his leg is actually attached to this wood.
Yeah.
And not vice versa. But anyway, a very dynamic piece again from Sideshow. One kind of funny thing that's been happening since this thing was revealed. There are some really funny little memes. I'm just going to kind of cycle through these because I thought they were pretty funny.
Oh
my God!
There he's getting tickled. So a lot of look out for that log. It's just
Oh, you don't have the roller coaster?
there it is.
There it is.
There it is. There's a roller coaster.
That's great.
So people have been having a lot of fun with this particular statue. But
That is fantastic.
anyway, we of course kid, but it was pretty funny that people are doing it.
Well,
But anyway, Martine always does a great job with the sculpt. This might not be for everybody, but I do think it's well sculpted. And like Jeff said, it really does go well with the Sabretooth.
I was a little bit disappointed yesterday morning when they revealed this. And I know it's really hard to be live with these presentations, but when one of the people in the chat asked the two hosts, what other pieces has this sculptor done? It was deer in the headlights.
They didn't know who did it.
They had no idea. And he's been with the Sideshow for years.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact they were standing in front of Sabretooth. It was a little disappointing that they didn't have someone more knowledgeable about the sculptor on the book.
I will say that there's a lot of new people at Sideshow. A lot of young people.
They knew everything about Court of the Dead today and talked about it for an hour.
They did. Amy is absolutely amazing with her knowledge of these products. She just knows, and she doesn't use notes, which is incredible. I feel like she's definitely one of us.
But she didn't know the Wolverine sculptor or that yesterday. It was the same girl, I think, wasn't it?
It's Amy and Wendy. Those are the two hosts so far. And then, of course, Plaid Shirt Guy. And Jeff got a little shout out during the live show, which was cool.
That was fun.
Because he was not wearing plaid, and it was just very bizarre.
Yeah.
But he was wearing plaid today, so it was all good.
Yep.
This was shown at Sideshow Con. This is it Shao Con or something like that? Can't think of his name. I think Shao Con or something like that. But Iron Studio 110 scale.
That's Silver Samurai.
Oh, Silver. No, see, I was way off then. Sorry.
You're thinking of the next guy, the one on the throne.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I got.
I thought that was pretty amazing at 110 scale to get that much detail.
I mean, Iron Studio, they do just such a tremendous job with what they have. Like, it's just incredible. It's literally like they take 1/4 and shrink it down.
It's a beautiful piece.
Beautiful piece. Sideshow had some of their stuff on display. Disappointed in my eyes because there's so much what we've already seen. But again, the week is young. Hopefully we get to see some more reveals.
I'm thinking about that Deadpool.
It seems like they showed a lot of stuff that was not available anymore, especially that Avengers Assemble thing.
Oh, we can't hear you, Chris.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I was just saying that some people did say that they were surprised that they were showing the sold out things, versus the new things. But, it is what it is. Again, I think that they're trying to stretch out a whole bunch of reveals over a full week. And maybe they only have like 6 new pieces. I don't know. But it is cool to see them all together like this.
It is.
Yeah.
It's my first time seeing that picture. They look really good all together.
Yeah. It's always neat to see them like that. This was another one shown today, the Rocky Balboa. This is by PCS. Very hard to compete versus the other version. Who makes the other version? I can't think.
You mean the Blitzway? The one
Blitzway. Yeah, Blitzway.
I feel bad for any sculptor that's working on a character that has been done by K.A. Kim. Her Rocky portrait, I think, is amazing. And this one is serviceable, but compared to that one, it's not that great.
Yeah. Yeah, the Blitzway one is incredible.
Yeah. From the neck down, I think this Rocky is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. Well, maybe they'll tweak the head a little bit.
Yeah, maybe so.
I threw these pictures in. Our man Dan and some other collectors got the emails today that a lot of the DC collectible pieces were officially canceled. And we kind of speculated that whenever the announcement was made that they were closing down. We didn't know if maybe the pieces that were already on order would still get made, but clearly they are not. What do you guys think about that?
Disappointing.
Yeah, very.
So I mean, we've seen the last of the black and white line.
Yep.
This one I really considered buying. I love this, of course, Court of the Owls. So just disappointing. I know I saw a Catwoman that was canceled today. So it's sad for collectors. But but I guess they can put their money toward other things.
It's had a good long run.
Yeah, they have. They have.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan's comment in the chat.
Say that again.
I agree with Ryan's comment in the chat.
What did he say?
If they have so few new pieces, they need to shrink the con down from 6 days to maybe 1 or 2.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think collectors would be a lot happier. They wouldn't trash on Sideshow because, you know, a lot of collectors feel like it's just filler. But, you know, their Sideshow, to their credit, they're trying to sell things. They're trying to sell their products. They're trying to sell products that are in stock. So I get that. That's smart business. But I think whenever you have these conventions, that's the number one thing people want to see is the new stuff.
Sure.
You know, have the new stuff right out of the gate, and then show all this stuff the rest of the week. And those people that are new to the hobby, this will all be new to them. The people that are not, they won't be in the chat. They won't be saying mean things. Does that make sense? I just feel like that would be smart.
And we're all watching. It's not like we're not watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we're all watching. I threw this photo, and I said it in the chat the other day. I said, this looks familiar.
It sure does.
Very similar to my diorama, but it's so cool to see all these together, you know, spread out. This actually has some space, which is nice, but just absolutely fantastic.
I hope that Harley's a production piece. She looks real good there.
Somebody asked me that earlier, and I said it has to be because she's shipping soon.
Yeah.
This one I threw in. This is a 1/10 from Iron Studio, and as far as I knew, they didn't have any Harry Potter pieces, but here's Hagrid. I think he looks great.
Yeah, I do too. He's up for pre-order too.
Oh, he's already up?
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I'm gonna have to get this for my wife, I think. Have to get her first statue. What do you think?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, that was I think almost 100 photos.
Nice.
Nice.
That we just went through.
We got to see the long cake Batman in photos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that one, but I'm still not a fan of it. But
he's not everybody's cup of tea. It's very stylized, I guess you could say. You know, it's that longer than usual cape. And the face, I'm not a big fan of the sculpt of the face.
It's very simple.
Yeah.
Not a lot of detail there.
And I would assume that maybe he hasn't sold quite as well. Is probably why he's on the show. But who knows? Just a really fun couple weeks with Prime One, Infinity Studio, Queen Studio, and now Sideshow Con. It's a great time to be a collector. It's a really bad time for our wallets.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Not over yet.
But out of all the things that we just saw, or even the Prime One stuff that we talked about last show, do you guys have a must-buy item from anything shown in the last month?
Wonder Woman fighting the Hydra for sure. Love. I absolutely love the Archer one. Is great. I'm not knocking that one, but the Wonder Woman fighting the Hydra is wow. That's awesome. What was there was the Batman fighting the Joker dragon. Yeah, want to get that. I really like that. And then the Wonder Woman prototype that you just showed a little while ago with her arm kind of, that one is, I'm keenly interested on seeing if they adjust her arm and what the final product will look like painted. Yeah, those are musts. I'm keenly on.
Good pick. How about you, Jeff Morris?
I don't know. I was the Batman Hush Batcave maybe. Or the Arkham Knight.
Oh, Arkham City Batman?
The newer one with the bigger band.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
It was kind of the suit from the first part of the game that was from the game before.
Yep, Arkham City.
The Talon.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. How about you, Eric?
It's really well done.
Well, since the Prime One event is all 1/3, if I was a 1/3 collector, I'd probably want everything from it. So thank God I'm not. I did pre-order the Batman Hush Batcave, just the bust because it's smaller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but from the last event, I would say the Batman Who Laughs has my eye, and same as Rick, that Wonder Woman covering her face really has my eye.
Yeah,
cool. I like that.
The lasso looks adjustable, which is I'm like, oh, that'd be great because then you could kind of spiral it a little bit, or you could manipulate it a little easier. Yeah,
and then all the Phoenix Joker stuff, I think all of it's been really amazing. I mean, if I collect the movie pieces, it would be a tough decision.
Yeah.
How about you, Delaney?
You know, they're talking about it in the chat. I don't buy too many 1/3, but that Arkham City Harley is kind of hard to pass up. So I'm seriously considering that.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah, count me in on that one.
So you ready for my list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to predict what I'm going to say?
Everything.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
1/3 Harley, that's for sure. You're getting that
1/3 Harley, Arkham City.
What you're not getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you not getting?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. So Arkham City Harley, Fabric Batman.
Oh yeah.
On the rooftop? Yeah, the on the rooftop, yeah.
I love it. I love it. Some people are like trash the base, the size of the base, but I love it. I want to see more, but I that one I love. And I'm debating between getting that or the Jim Lee Hush Batcave, or both. I don't know. But I don't know if I need both of them. So those two, probably Penguin.
Oh, yeah.
100% Talon. Like that, I think Talon is probably at the top for me. So those four, and then I'm gonna put the Ledger Joker from Infinity Studio on that list of 5. So far,
it's a good list.
Yeah,
it's a good list. And again, I am hoping that we see a new villain or two at Sideshow this week. I have a feeling we'll see something, but I don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell to see what they actually what they give us. But good list, guys. You got a lot of good pieces in mind. I like it. That's awesome. And it's nice to hear because I didn't hear a lot of love for that Wonder Woman over the last week or so. So it's nice to hear you guys say that you're interested in that piece. It's not something on my radar, of course, but it's nice to hear that you guys are interested in that one.
Paint makes all the difference. You know what? Once they paint that thing up, it's going to be a different story. I think it'll get a lot more attention.
Do we know if that's a movie piece or is that a comic piece?
I don't think we know.
We don't know. It looks like Margot Robbie, but it's hard to say. It's hard to tell.
Gal Gadot.
Who did I say?
Margot Robbie.
I'm sorry. I have Harley on my brain.
$5,000 bust on the brain.
Yeah. Pimrika says the Lee Catwoman. That one didn't speak to me so much. I didn't realize this, but when we talked on the last show, those were all just renders.
Right.
It has not been printed yet.
Okay.
So that might make a big difference because sometimes the renders can look very different than what's actually printed. And so I'm going to give that one a chance. I think a lot of people just don't like that kind of like that puffy suit. What's the material I'm thinking of? Like like a blanket, or
like a quilted leather.
Quilted.
I'm not sure the portraits were as appealing as some other Catwoman statues.
Yeah. I did like the winking one. I thought that was good, but I want to see more. But it's not on my priority list. Yeah. I would rather have a Hush Catwoman, and I think most people probably would rather have that. Which also makes me think that they're not going to do a Hush Catwoman anytime soon, because if they're going to be pushing that one, it's the same with Ivy. You know, they sold the Arkham Ivy, you know, and the one I have right here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
This statue right here was being sold at the same time. So I thought that was an interesting way of doing things. But if I can get a little closer on her face here. But anyway, time will tell, I guess. Time will tell. Well, I think we're going to about wrap it up. Do you guys have anything else you want to say before we head out tonight?
I'm good. You guys good?
Okay. As always, please check out Secret Sanctuary. What do you have coming up, Jeff? Anything new and exciting?
I'm waiting for Tweeterhead Batgirl. I think she's going to be really cool. So I'm looking forward to that.
It's a great piece. So stay tuned to the channel for that. I want to thank Jeff and, of course, Rick for being here. And I definitely want to thank Eric. Again, thank you so very much. I have been bugging him for a very long time. And it took a Dan injury to get him on the show, but I really appreciate you being part of the group. You are definitely...
Hopefully it wasn't too scary.
You are definitely one of us, my friends. So thank you for being here. It means a lot. So hopefully you didn't scare you too far away.
I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
That's great. That's great. Everybody, thank you so very much for watching. If you would do me a favor and hit that like button if you haven't done so already. That does help the channel out very, very much. Thank you, everybody in the chat. I want to thank Ryan Brown again. That was absolutely incredible. Yeah, please share this video so people can see that, because I'm sure people missed it. But thank you again, everybody. I really appreciate it. Had a really great show. Now, here is the schedule. We will either be back next week or the week after. I'm not sure, but we are going to be doing a Halloween show. So we are going to be doing that that week. I think it's like the 28th, I think. So we are going to do a Halloween themed show. So stay tuned to that. But we'll do a show in between. Really, it kind of depends on if we see anything else great at Sideshow Con. If not, we might skip a week and do the following week. We'll just kind of wait and see. But we'll be back between next week and the week after for sure. So I'll be posting a million links like I always do, and we'll get the message out to everybody. So anyway, thank you everybody for watching. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time in the Batcave. Bye, everybody.